Good evening. How is everybody doing today? Happy Easter, happy Ustar, happy Ishtar, happy whatever it is you're celebrating today. Ramadan, Passover, whatever it is. Happy whatever. Hope you're having a good day. Happy Sunday if you don't celebrate any of those. I hope everybody is doing good today. I went and hung out with my family today. First time I'd seen one of my sisters in over 2 years since my mom passed away. So it was good to see her. Went out and spent some time with family. And it's good times. I had kind of some of its downer points too during it. Good God. Hi, buddy. Tanner's over here looking at me like, Dad, help me get under the blanket in my bed. Get in there. Oh, I know what you want. Hold up. There you go, pal. All right, Tanner's all taken care of and tucked in. Yay! Occasionally, he needs a little help getting into his blankets. Just likes to have someone tuck him in. Sweet little lovey guy. But how is everybody doing tonight? That's what I'd like to know. How are you doing? Stop in, say hi, say hello. Let me know what's going on. Had a great day talking with a couple of my nephews earlier today. And one of my nieces made a very profound point today, which I absolutely loved. Alrighty. Get some stuff shared around here. Let people know I'm live. For those of you who've tuned in already, hello, how are you doing? Hope you're having a good night. Say hello. I am doing free one-card pools. I'm doing mini readings for $10 and full readings for $15. So if you would like a free one-card pool, you just say, "Hey, I'd love to get a one-card pool," and I got you. I'll hook you up. If you want a more in-depth reading, just say, "Hey, I'd like to get a mini reading." Or if you'd like a full reading, say, "Hey, I'd like to get a full reading." We'll get you all set up on that. We'll get you the payment information sent over so you can take care of that, and we will get you taken care of, no problem. Like I said, one-card pools are free all day. What was I trying? Oh, yes, this is what I was doing. Squirrel brain. Sitting here and all of a sudden I'm like, oh man, I was doing something and it was like somewhat important and there was stuffs and there were things I was supposed to do and crap. Oh, let's see, get this set up. Boom, there we go. Yay! Alrighty, we got everything all set up. How's everyone doing? Come on. I want to know how your holiday was. If you celebrated it today, let me know how it was. Did you get something great in your Easter basket? I got absolutely nothing. There was like a community Easter basket at Dad's, and it literally had jelly beans and Peeps in it. And I'm like, I'll eat the jelly beans. And it was funny because the Peeps weren't even out of the package. They were still in the packages, just stuck inside the basket. There was like 5 packages of Peeps just stuck in this basket. The cost of doing business on the internet. I love doing this. I do. Don't get me wrong. But one of my really dear friends and a partner who helps me out boosted a post for me last night. And now I am getting some of the craziest messages sent to me on it. I mean, it's actually kind of funny at times. But some of the times I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, so this is what I'm going to have to deal with working on this in this venue. Which I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But oh my gosh, some of these things. Who knows? I might actually make posts out of some of the things people send. Of course, I'll mark everything out so they can't be seen and stuff. It's just weird. Like, just weird responses to stuff. Nice. My niece just responded to the conversation we was having earlier. I don't know if that ding came through on the live or not, but that's what that was. If it came through, I was just looking and seeing what she said. I'll respond to her later. But yes, if you'd like a free 1-card pool, let me know. I am doing free 1-card pools using my Spellcasting Oracle deck. If you would like a full reading, I am offering mini and full readings. Mini readings, $10, full readings, $15. 1-card pools are free, but the paid readings. What is my prediction for a pre-week? You mean like what's my prediction for the week ahead? Is that what you're asking? Because my prediction for the week ahead is it's going to be a pretty damn good week because I'm going to decide that it's a good week and I'm not going to let it be a bad week. That's my prediction for the week ahead. Even if some bad shit comes my way, I'm still going to make it a good week. Like, I really don't do like predictions per se. I know that's kind of weird being like, hey, I'm doing Oracle and Tarot readings and stuff. But like, I'm not like, oh, hey, this week, there's going to be some bad shit that goes down on Tuesday and Wednesday, and Friday afternoon's kind of an iffy day for you, No. I work more with energies. I work more with patterns, symbols, looking at what comes about and seeing how it all fits together. But when it comes to looking into the future, I honestly do not try to focus a whole heck of a lot on the future. Even when I do my personal readings, I try to focus on what I need to be working on now, what I need to be working on today, because tomorrow is not promised. I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow, so worrying about tomorrow, not doing me a damn bit of good today. Hey, thank you so much, Stephanie. Yeah, I know you have a ton of stuff going on. By all means, go deal with all the stuff that you've got going on. I'm so sorry about that situation. But I will definitely be keeping in contact with you, Stephanie. Let the girls know I'm thinking of them. And, give them my well wishes. I'm glad everyone's safe. But yes, but as for full readings, I'm going to be working with either my Sacred Rebels Oracle deck, which I absolutely love this deck. Such a glorious deck. The artwork's amazing. But I also have, and I haven't went to this deck for a little while. I need to start messing with this deck a little more. I love this deck. It's just a lot of people prefer the other deck. I also have my Shamanic Healing Oracle deck, which is a really nice deck. I love this deck. My only qualm with this deck, and I have it with a couple of decks, is the high gloss finish on it. Makes it really hard to get it focused in on camera at times with the right lighting. And so if companies could do these things without that high gloss finish on it, that would be amazing. Like the matte finish that's like on this. So you don't have that reflective, But other than that, I absolutely love this deck. I mean, it's really great. Like this deck in person, reading it in person and stuff with that high gloss is really nice because, I mean, they look fancy. But reading online is a little harder because, like I said, taking photos of these, if you don't get the lighting and the angles just right, it just glares and it's hard to see. And it's the same thing for my Lenormand deck. I mean, it's the same way. It's not as bad, I don't think. It's not as much of a gloss finish, but it's there. I think one day this week I might just set up and do a night where I do nothing but like 9-card Lenormand reads. Which can be really fun. I love doing those. But yeah, if anybody would like a free 1-card pool, let me know. I've got the deck right here. It's ready to go. Shuffling up some cards, playing with some cards. I got real quiet. Sorry, I was thinking about something. My niece had messaged me. I looked over, saw the message, and then I got lost in thought. Now, we had an ordeal at the house today where a lot of the family was sitting around and they was being real judgmental on an issue and a cause and stuff, and like they was passing judgment on a lot of things with it, and like just really, honestly, for lack of a better word, they were just being really bigoted. And this is from a room full of people who claim to be Christians. And my niece, who's also Christian, I got up and walked out. I'm an ominist. I have more pagan roots than I do Christian roots. But I'm an ominist. I believe that all paths have some truths in them. And that if you seek those truths, they all lead you to the same place. They all lead you to that one divine source of creation. That's where, everything comes from. That's my personal belief system. But these people who have a belief system that says don't judge, that is one of the things. It's one of the, and simply to love are things that have been taught by Yeshua, by Jesus, by Christ. And he said these things, and here's a room full of people claiming to be his follower, which to be Christian, to take the term Christian, the title Christian, means to be Christ-like. And did you guys see something like come up behind me and just go straight up? Did y'all see that? Or am I losing my mind? It looked like some little orb or something came right up behind my head and then just went straight up as I was saying this. But to be Christian means to be Christ-like. And here's a room of people claiming to be doing their best to be Christ-like while sitting there being the absolutely total complete opposite of the way Christ would have been. So I got up and went out to the other room because I knew if I said anything, it was going to start a bunch of crap. And I'm known for the one starting all kinds of stuff in the family. And I wasn't in the mood for it today. I didn't want the drama. There was already a bunch of tension in the air with some other stuff going on. So I just really wasn't wanting the drama. And I go and I'm sitting out in the kitchen. I was eating a piece of carrot cake. And so I took my cake out in the kitchen, sat down out there and finished eating my cake. My niece came out and she was just like, you could tell she was exasperated. She was frustrated. She just came out and she's like, I just can't be in there anymore. And I'm like, why? Because they're all sitting in there judging. And she's like, yes. Yeah. She's like, and that's not what we're supposed to do. She's like, almost every single person in that room claims to be a Christian and they're doing the exact thing Jesus told us not to do. And she's like, and I can't handle it. And she came out, we talked about some stuff. She talked about how, she tries, but sometimes she fails. Sometimes she judges. It's a human nature. It's a human thing. But we've got to work on trying to overcome those kind of things. And so she was talking about this, and I'm like, those are beliefs that can be passed down through almost any religion if you get to the real roots and core of it, and you get past all the stuff that all the fundamental all that stuff that gets all the doctrine, all the theology, all that stuff that gets twisted and corrupted and everything else. Hey Tim, how you doing? South Carolina, really nice. I got some family in North Carolina. How's the weather down there? How you guys doing? How are you doing? Do you have a good holiday today, or a good Sunday if you did celebrate the holiday? Several holidays. Let's see. I think Passover's still going on. I think it's sundown now, so I think it's over. I'd have to look that up. I got to get back up on all these holidays. I used to know exactly when and how they ran and stuff. You want a card, Chris? Sure. I'm sitting here shuffling some cards, so I'll pull a free card for you. Cool and rainy today. That was us yesterday. I'm in Ohio, and that was us yesterday. It was cool and rainy. Today it was nice and sunny. It was a really nice day. This is a beautiful day here outside. Give me a second here, Chris. I'm just shuffling up the cards. The way I do these pulls is I shuffle until a card pops out, and then I go from there. So the card I got for you, Chris, is Closure. You'll donate here in a minute. Cool, Tim. Just let me know where you donate to, and then I can confirm when that comes through, and we'll get you whatever kind of reading you want. Chris, the card I pull for you is Closure. With Closure, this means that it's important that you bring closure to something that's going on right now, or you're in the process of bringing closure to something. And closure is not always a bad thing. A lot of people hear closure and they're like, oh man, it's an ending. But that's one of those things that's honestly, closure is not a bad thing. We need to bring closure to things when we end them. We need to be able to tuck things away, say, all right, we're done with this. Let's set this, we don't need this anymore. It's ran its course in our life with the things that we need to do. And now we're done. And that can be closure in relationships, closure in work deals, closure in anything that you have some kind of interaction with. It can be closure in finishing up a work project that's been ongoing, or a personal project that you just haven't finished up. Maybe it's time to finally jump on that and get it taken care of. Get that bring closure to that. That way you can start to focus on the next thing that you need to do without that being a distraction. That's a really important part of closure, is being able to put those things to peace, put them to rest in a peaceful way, hopefully a peaceful way. Sometimes closure doesn't always come peacefully. but at least hopefully being able to put things at peace so that you can move forward without those things continuing to affect your daily, just process of going about your day, going about your life. You don't want it to be interfering. So closure is a really important step. So excellent, Chris. I'm glad it resonates. I hope that brings you something that can help you step closer and more forward to bringing that closure that you need. Cash App? Okay, thanks, Tim. I'm pulling up Cash App right now. Yeah, when it pops through, I'll let you know. What kind of reading are you wanting? You wanting a mini or a full reading, Tim? You want to do a mini? Gotcha. Let me ask you this, Tim, because I'm going to give you the option. Which of the decks do you want? This is the Shamanic Healing Oracle deck, and this is the Sacred Rebels deck. This is the deck I mainly read from a lot. I love this deck too. I can work with this deck as well. So I'm going to throw it up to you. Which deck do you want me to read from? The Sacred Rebel or the Shamanic Healing? You can just say healing or Rebel. Let's go with the Rebels. Awesome. I love this deck. This deck is such a beautiful deck. The artwork in this deck is amazing. All right. Let me get these cards all shuffled up for you here, Tim, and we'll get you your mini reading. And thank you so much, Tim. I appreciate that. And guys, if you end up getting a reading from me tonight and you like the reading, or even if you don't like the reading, I don't even have to be if you like the reading, go over to my Facebook page, which is just facebook.com/Breaking Reality the show, and leave me a review. They help me out. They help my business. They also help me know how things are going with the people that I'm working with. Let me know if there's something that maybe need to change, or if there's something they really like and they want me to maybe focus in on that more. I really look at all these things and I take them into consideration when I'm working with people and I continue on. So, hey, Tim, it's great to have you here for the first time, man. I love it. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these lives. I'm going to be doing some that are going to be like these hour-long deals, or like sometimes I'll go longer than that. But I'm also going to do a lot of little short, like 15 to 30-minute ordeals too. I'm going to start doing things daily, and then every Friday I'm going to start scheduling out that day I'm going to do a live. And on Fridays when we get in here, we're going to make Fridays just a fun day. It's going to be kick back, have a blast. I'm going to be picking up some other Oracle decks here in the weeks to come. I want to pick up a couple that are a little more fun and silly in their nature. Oh yeah, that topic, dude. That is a very dear topic to me. Just on that whole subject of how judgmental people can be, and how they'll sit there and they'll try to say, oh, well, I'm a Christian and I do this. And here, don't get me wrong. I'm not knocking Christians. I'm not hating on Christians. I don't hate Christians at all. And that's something a lot of people don't get. A lot of people think, oh, well, you're anti-Christian. And it just, no, I'm not. My thing is, I'm anti-hypocrisy. That's my big thing. If you're going to claim to be a Christian, try to walk and live your life as much like you as Christ as you can. And don't sit there and just blatantly judge people. And here's the thing. You go in there, and I've had this happen. I've had this happen with me. Someone just blatantly passing judgment on it. And I'm like, aren't you like not supposed to pass judgment on people? Oh, well, I'm not judging you. And I'm like, just because you said you're not judging me doesn't mean you're not judging me. That's not a get out of jail free card just by saying, well, I'm not judging you. It's like, yeah, you are. You just spent the last 20 minutes judging me. Yeah, same here, Tim. Same here. Tell you what, after the live and stuff, feel free to hit me up on my page. I'll get into this discussion with you, man. We can have this chat. I have no problem with that. I love getting into these talks with people. It's part of the reason I do what I do. This is just my path. This is where my calling comes. I honestly tried to walk away from it several times because I'm just like, I'd rather go do something else. I'd rather go do something that's a little more fun, makes a little more money, deals with a little less trauma and stress and anxiety. Because like a lot of times what I do in my spiritual work and my spiritual process, I'm rarely, like, honestly, these are like where I get to deal with people in a good situation. But I rarely get to deal with people in a positive situation, because a lot of times when people are coming to me, they're coming to me asking for something, asking for help, asking for guidance, asking for, prayers, asking for support when they're in their worst moments, when things have went horribly wrong for them. And I know as my path continues, one of the things I'm really wanting to focus on is some training. Once I get ordained, I'm going to do some stuff, training as a death doula or an end-of-life caregiver from a spiritual standpoint. I won't be dealing with anything medical. I'll be dealing with it from a spiritual aspect. And I want to work as a chaplain within hospitals and hospice programs. So that's my goal that I'm working towards right now. So, all right. The way that I do this, Tim, is I pulled your cards out, and what I do is I will run down through your cards, show you each card, and then I will come back and start the reading where I'll go through each individual card and give the interpretations. But I like people to see the full layout of cards first. Yeah. So your first card, Tim, is New Birth, Guard It Vigilantly. Great card. Beautiful card. Your next card, which is funny because I didn't think this card was actually popped, so I didn't pull it the first time, and it came back out a second time. So it really wants you to know, about these conscious connections you need to be making as well. The next card is Focus on the Light. Your fourth card is Follow Your Rhythm, your own rhythm. Big Bold Vision. Faith in the Process. And Releasing Allegiances. Man, I tell you what, looking at this spread, honestly, my first initial feeling that I get off of looking at this spread and how this thing is laid out is it really starts off with this card, the New Birth, the Guard It Vigilantly. Looking at this spread, it really feels like this is a spread that is all focusing on something that you are developing, that you're in the process of working on, something that you're bringing out, whether it's a business ordeal, some kind of relationship ordeal. But this looks more like something that you're working on business-wise or a project-wise. It doesn't really feel like it's necessarily one person. this has got a vibe of, let me run down through this, because I'm going to do something a little different with this reading because of the vibe with this reading. It really feels like the cards all playing together. So you've got this new birth, guard it vigilantly. So whatever it is that you're in the process of developing and bringing about, whatever's coming into existence, whatever's coming into reality, whether it's a project that you're working on, which really feels like, or a work thing, or maybe something like, it doesn't feel like it involves another person, but it's going to tie into these conscious connections. And what really makes me feel like this is something, and I'm going to jump around cards here. I'm not going to go in the order. I will go back and go in order in a second, but I'm going to jump around a little bit. But what's got me feeling that way is this follow your own rhythm card and this big, bold vision. These two cards right here speak of something going on with you individually as following your own rhythm, following your own path. And then you have this big, bold vision. This is saying don't allow others to control that vision. Make sure that you're walking your own path. And that's why this feels kind of like a project or something you might be working on. So whatever it is, you got this new birth, guard it vigilantly. This is really, really critical whenever you're bringing a new idea or something into being, whether it's, setting up a business, a relationship, a household, whatever. Whenever you're doing these things and you're setting up these projects, you're doing these things, and people start saying, oh, man, I don't know why you're doing that. Oh, that will never be successful. Oh, that will never fly. That's part of the guarding it vigilantly. You guard that idea, that passion, that dream, that idea, and you say, hey, you may think that, but I see this. I see the truth in this. I'm going to guard it. I'm going to protect it. I'm going to give it every chance that it gets to bloom, blossom, grow, and be what it is destined to be. Now, part of that is this card is that conscious connections. And this conscious connection card comes in two different ways. This can actually, you're going through a transitional journey. Okay, this makes great sense then. So this is what that's talking about. This is talking about the kickoff of that transitional journey. And so this card here directly will relate to the conscious connections that you make with other people who might help you along on that transitional journey. But also, even more so, a lot of times what this card calls for, the conscious connections, is that connection with your higher self. So you connect to that higher self, that higher spiritual sense, that more that part of you that is the observer of the voice in your head. That goes back to a teaching from Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle talks about in The Power of Now, he goes in and he talks about, realizing that you are not the voice in your head. You are the observer, seeing, witnessing, and hearing that voice. And so that observer that's looking at that's your higher connection. That's your higher self. That's that higher consciousness. You feel more like a higher self. That means you're coming into alignment with that higher self. That means those things are coming into that alignment where they're all flowing together. So that's that conscious connection. That's what this card is all about, is that connection with that higher self for you. Now, in order to keep on that path, you got to stay focused on the light. This once again goes back to, guarding that new birth. Because there can be a lot of negativity out there, especially with people saying, oh man, why don't you just stop doing that? Why don't you just go back to being the way you were? Or, especially like if you was wrapped up in some stuff with some other people and you're starting to pull away from them. Like if you had drinking buddies or smoking buddies or whatever it was. And you're like, you know what? I'm putting that up on the shelf. It's not for me. I'm moving forward. I'm working on myself. And they're like, hey man, come back over here. Come have a drink with us, or, come fire one up with us. And that, they want to pull you back into that, but you can't allow yourself to go back into that if you're working on a big transformation. Like people who are in recovery, who are recovering addicts, which funny enough, one of my nephews is he's an NA, and we actually spent some time talking about like their books and their teachings and how they work with people, because I like taking all that in. I like understanding how these people, like how programs like NA are working with people to deal with their traumas that led them to these addictions. Yes, energy vampires, people that want to prey on you because they're not necessarily there for, they're not looking out for your own best, like for your best interest. They're looking out for like, well, hey, you know, this guy used to bring over a bunch of beer on the Saturdays when we drink. Now he doesn't bring that all over. So now I've got to go get it, you know, or stuff like that, you know, whatever it is, you know, and people will play into that. And, you know, a lot of times those people aren't really looking out for you. So if you got people in a group like that, yeah, it's very important to stay away from them, stay focused on the light, stay focused in on that positive. And remember, the next card you got is follow your own rhythm. So this means nice. Yeah, my nephew has done amazing in his recovery. He's been a peer counselor. He's been a supervisor with counselors and stuff. He's done a lot of stuff. So proud of him. Like he put in the hard work. He really put in the hard work. But the next card you got, like I said, is follow your own rhythm. So this calls for you to not be necessarily dancing to the beat of someone else's drum and doing things exactly like someone else does. This is calling for you to step forward in your own way, in your own, you know, listen to that beat of your own drum. We don't always dance to the same beat as everyone else. Sometimes we sync up, sometimes we don't. But the thing is, it's important for you to follow your rhythm, to follow your path and not the path that's laid out by someone else, which is another teaching that I got into the other day that was really good. I saw this person talking about how they was a spiritual teacher and they tried to help everyone around them by trying to teach them to heal the exact same way they did, expecting the exact same results. And when they didn't get the same results from others, they was like, man, I must have failed, or this person has failed. They're not putting in the work. But then they started realizing that that was only going to work for people that had that identical situation that person had, you know. And so it was a matter of changing things around and shifting things around enough so that they could come from teachings that would work for anyone. Not just like, oh, you know, they stopped telling people you got to do it my way and started going, hey, this is what really works for everyone. And my way wasn't necessarily the right way. And this person said they walked away from $1 million a year business because they saw that what the work that they was doing wasn't really the work they thought they was trying to do. And that they needed to change and shift the way that they was doing all this. And that took a massive paradigm shift in the way that they was working and operating, which I think is beautiful. Next card, Big Bold Vision. Love this card. You've got a big, bold vision in this transformation, and make sure you hold on to that vision. Make sure you latch onto it. Don't allow that vision to sway. Don't allow that vision to change. That vision is what will help pull you through this transformation process. Right. And that's the best way to be, is just be like, hey, I'm going to tell you what I did. I don't know if it'll work for you. But, you know, like some things I talk to people about. Tammy, he is posting on through YouTube. That is why. Tim came into this through YouTube. I've got I use a thing called StreamYard, which allows me to broadcast to multiple channels at once. And so that's why you're not seeing those. Your next card, Faith in the Process. Man, this is a powerful card. This is a very powerful card. You just have to have that faith that even when it's dark, even when it feels like everything is going against you, when you're sitting there going, man, I don't know how this is going to come together. I don't know how these things are going to fall into place, is just to have that faith that the universe has your back, that it's going to come through in the time that it needs to come through. When things are needed, it will show up, it will have your back. But part of that is putting in the work. A lot of times people want to talk about, hey, you know, I've got strong faith and I believe, and you know, I've been praying and I've been asking for help, and you know, I try to get help on, you know, I've been praying for finances or whatever, and they're like, nothing's coming in. Thing is, what they've ignored is they're looking for a check. They're looking for some cash. They're looking for something to hit their bank account. They're not looking for that person that came up to them and said, hey, I got a job over here. I'll pay you this much if you can do it, and it'll just take you this long. It's not going to take you very long. I'll pay you good. Let's, you know. And you're like, nah, I got to work on some other stuff. Or someone comes over and says, hey, I got this job opportunity just opened up. It's a higher paying job, you know, better benefits, all these things, lays it out to you, and you're like, I don't know about it, you know. I think I'm gonna keep working on the stuff that I'm doing on my own and try to build that instead of. And the thing that people miss is they've had all these opportunities laid out in front of them, and they have pushed them out of the way, and they're claiming, well, you know, everything I've done hasn't worked. Well, you had faith. Things were put in your path to help you go through this. So unless you take those steps, and that's part of faith in the process, is taking those steps, is taking that effort. I mean, in the Bible, it talks about, you know, faith without work is fruitless. Faith without effort is fruitless. You can have all the faith in the world, but unless, like, okay, I could have all the faith in the world that if I plant an apple tree outside, that once it grows, that it will produce the most beautiful apples and the most tasteful apples, and they'll be delicious and they'll be amazing. But unless I actually take the work and plant that seed and water that seed and nourish that seed and take care of it, and then take care of that sapling and take care of that tree as it's growing, none of that's going to come to pass. I can have faith, but if I don't put the works in, it's pointless. Your last card you got is Releasing Allegiances. This card calls for cutting things out, releasing things that you've held onto. And this isn't necessarily people. Sometimes it can be people that you need to cut out. But a lot of times this can be belief systems or ideas, or, you know, different kind of doctrine or theology or things along those lines that are tripping you up, that are holding you back, that are no longer serving you and benefiting you. And so it's a time to cut and release those and let those things go so that you can step forward without doctrines are a hard thing to cut too. Let me ask you this, Tim. Did you grow up in a Christian church or a Christian belief system that had some really, really like strict doctrines and stuff like that, and you're in the process of moving from that, healing from that, going through the transformation of all that? Yeah, see, I grew up in a very similar home. I grew up in a very similar house with a very conservative evangelical Christian household. Very conservative, very right-wing, you know, and it's like, I even saw the ugliness of it today when they're sitting there judging people. It was honestly, I'll say what the subject was. They was talking about the whole transgender ordeal, and they was sitting there just slamming transgender people left and right. I mean, and to be honest, I'm pretty sure if Jesus had been in that room with me, he would have done the same thing I done, which was get up and walk out. Actually, he might, knowing Jesus, he might have flogged a few people before he done that too. Told him, get behind me, devil, and, you know, smacked a few people around. Hi, Honeypot. Do you just want a free one card pull? Is that what you'd like? Before I do that for Honey, Tim, do you have any questions on the reading, man? Oh man, I look forward to it. I love getting into some good conversations. I love that. That's like one of the biggest things for me on like friendships and relationships and stuff is if someone can carry a good deep conversation and not just like small talk. Like I like to get into the meat and bones of conversations. I like to get into a subject and really discuss it. Um and the thing is, I like talking with people that have different views than me too. And it's not that I want to argue or debate or get into anything like that. Is I want to be able to sit and talk with them and see things from their point of view so that I can take that information and add it to the information I already have. Hey man, I tell you what, we can sit down and have some good conversations, and I will sit down and, if you need me to talk with you to someone that's causing you problems or issues or whatnot, if there's someone in your family that you need someone to talk to with you, hit me up, man. I'll have conversations with other people. The whole point of breaking reality, the whole idea and the whole concept of breaking reality and why I brought all this into being was in my mind, I wanted to challenge people's perspectives of the world around them, thus breaking reality. We break and change reality when we change our perspectives of the world around us. Honey, the card I got for you is boundaries. Look at this card. This card is very, very important. Boundaries are a very, very, very important aspect of every part of our life, not just a spiritual thing, but a physical and emotional. Every aspect of our lives, we need to have boundaries in it where we set up things that says, you know what? Okay, I'm cool with this. Don't cross this boundary. Dude, I love it when my cards are dead on. Very rarely are my cards not on. And don't take that as an ego thing, because I will be the first to tell everyone a lot of this, and by a lot of it, I mean like 99.9% of it is spirit working in and through me. I am just a conduit for this. And these are just tools that we use to deliver the message. But those boundaries are super important. You need to work on setting up your boundaries and holding to them. Don't let people push your boundaries, honey. If you say, hey, this is something I'm okay with, this is not. And the moment someone starts to push into that not area, you need to remind them, hey, this is one of my boundaries. This is something that you don't cross. Okay, when they start to cross that boundary, if they won't respect that, it's time to get rid of that person in your life, because they're straight up saying right then and there, they have absolutely no respect for you as a person. Now, sometimes you might need to talk to someone about your boundaries so they kind of understand them. Sometimes, like I've had to have conversations with people where I explain why I have that boundary. There was something in the past that happened, and so I set that up because of this. And your boundaries are that's your personal barrier. That's where you're saying, I'm comfortable with everything out here, but when you start to cross this line, that's no. And sometimes boundaries can be emotional, they can be spiritual, they can be physical. Like one boundary I have is I don't like people I don't necessarily like people that I don't know just coming up and touching me randomly. And especially if you're like someone that's just an acquaintance, there's a certain level of, okay, you can be near me, rubbing elbows, bumping shoulders, whatever. But don't reach up and touch my face. Like if I don't know you, don't reach up and touch my face. That's a boundary I have with people. And I had someone recently reach up and tug on my beard, and I stopped, and it aggravated me. It made me very hey, what in the heck are you doing? I used a few different words. But I was pissed off. And then I had to stop, and I'm like, hey, you need to know, that's one of my boundaries. I don't like people touching my face, playing with my beard, unless there's someone that is, a partner, like a girlfriend that wants to play with my beard. Love that. Absolutely love that. But if you're not in that level of intimacy with me, there's a boundary there that's like, don't touch. And people need to realize you can have different boundaries for different people as well. That's another aspect of it, is you can have boundaries that, this person has a little more leeway, or this person may not have the same boundaries as these other people do. And some people may have way more boundaries because you have to set those up. Otherwise, they'll just run all over you. You are so welcome, Honey Pot. I am glad this has helped you out. That's what I'm here for. If I can help someone out by this, then I have been successful. I have done my job. I have accomplished my mission. Everything from there is a bonus. Anyone else would like a free card pull or would like to get a mini reading or a full reading? I'm offering mini readings today for $10, and I'm offering full readings for $15. Yeah, boundaries though. I mean, that is definitely a really important thing to make sure that you set up and you hold. And here's the thing, when you set boundaries, people are going to try to push them. The moment you set a boundary, people are going to try to push that boundary, and they're going to try to do it. Some of them will do it on purpose. Some of them might do it accidentally. Some people might do it and not even realize they're doing it until you point it out. So, would anybody else like a card? Doing free 1-card pulls. Oops. That card got put back in the deck backwards. My fault. But yeah, just let me know if you'd like a 1-card pull. Just say, hey, I'd like a card. Tamara, I will pull a single card for you if you'd like. If you want a more in-depth reading, I am offering many readings for $10 and full readings for $15. But if you would like a single card pull, I can gladly do that for you. Oh, hey, Tammy. I saw it was a different name, and I was like, not 100% sure, but we'll see. Do you want a single card pull, or do you want to do one of the mini or the full? And here's the card that came out for you. The cards have good luck in store for you today. I love that the good luck card has a black cat on that. Like, how awesome is that? I love it. But it's got good luck for you. You've either got good luck coming, or you are good luck. You've had good luck, but good luck is surrounding you. I have my Breaking Reality page. That's the other page that I'm posted to. It is, if you go to Facebook, it's facebook.com/Breaking Reality, the show. Oh, I absolutely love black cats, and I hate how people stereotype them as being bad luck. That is such an old superstition, and it's not even like, I mean, it's just, I don't like it. And it leads to black cats being hurt and harmed, not adopted as much out of shelters. And I absolutely love a black cat. I think they're They're cute and they're adorable. And every time a black cat crosses my path, I thank it. Thank you, kitty. I like black cats. I have no problem with a black cat crossing my path. Yes, I actually believe that they are good luck. Almost every time I've had just a random black cat cross my path out of the blue, not like where I'm at someone's house that has a black cat, which kind of expect that. But I mean, it was one of those things that usually it was a sign of something really good came along. Oh, I love animals. I love animals. Actually, here, let me find my little guy. Where is he? Come here, T. Come here, buddy. Come here, pal. Ah, here's my little guy. Oh, hi, T. This is Tanner. Tanner is, yeah, can you give him kisses? Oh, yeah, kissy. Tanner is an Italian Greyhound Chihuahua mix, and I've had him for about 12 years now. He was a rescue. I got him when he was 6 months old, and we have been inseparable since. Huh. Yeah. He's my ride or die. Like, anywhere I go, he's right there with me. I got your back, Dad. Let's do this. Huh. Especially if it involves a trip to any place that has a drive-through. He is all about those rides. Oh, see, and where I lived out in California for a while, and I lived in Sonoma County. I actually lived right outside of Sonoma in Boys Hot Springs for a little bit, and I lived in Glen Ellen, which is like 3 miles away. And that's when I ended up getting him, was when I lived in Glen Ellen. But he actually came from a shelter there that was a no-kill shelter. But there's a group that would meet in town by one of the pet stores at like this little like park area at the shopping center. And it was a Greyhound rescue group, and they'd bring in all these rescued Greyhounds, and like people could go up and pet them and interact with them and stuff. And oh my God, they were such beautiful dogs. And then when you see how he's like up over my shoulder like a baby, when I first met Tanner, the lady who worked at the shelter was fostering him, and she brought him in for me to see. She came walking in from the back carrying him, and he was over her shoulder like that. And he turned his head and he saw me, and he pushed off of her and jumped into my arms, full on convinced that he wasn't going to hit the ground because I was going to catch him, because he could have fallen and hurt himself really, really bad. Jumps off of her and I catch him. He gets up in my arms, crawls up on my shoulder like you saw, and he started chewing on my beard and nuzzling. And the ladies looked at me and she says, "That's it. You have to adopt him. He's yours." And I said, "There's no way you're taking him away from me. I will fight every one of you. I'm walking out of here with him today." Oh, hey, ignore that person, please. That person is a scammer. They come in here saying all that stuff. They're one of two things. Either they are not legit, oh no, I accidentally blocked Tim. Hold on, Tim. No, hold on. It's blocking people. Why is it doing that? I don't want to block those people. How do I unblock them? Fucking, that person caused me to block 2 people I didn't want to block, and then I didn't block the person I wanted to block. Hold on, Tim. Hold on. Oh, how do I get them back? Hold on. I need help. How do I do this? Okay, I got to put Tanner down. I got to figure this out. Shit. Where do I find that? Settings? Guest? Banned guest? No banned guest. Hold on. Why no banned guest? Let's see. No! No, 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 no. How do I do that? Oh, no. Damn spammers. Caused me to accidentally delete the wrong people, block the wrong people, and now I can't figure out how to unblock them. Oh, Jesus. Hold on. Did it block them this way? Like, did that block both of them from my YouTube? Hold on. Let me see if that's it. Shit. I don't like this. Because people who never should have gotten blocked accidentally got blocked. Oh, God, I got to figure out how to do this. Damn it, damn it, damn it. Let me do this. Oh, let me pop over to my channel, see if I can find it from here. Oh, I absolutely hate this. Okay, I got to figure out how to unblock these people, like, critically. Like, I do not want people that are good people being blocked because bad people came in here saying stupid shit. Okay, let me see. That's guest. I don't want guest. I want... Because both of us, how do you unblock people on YouTube? I think I got to do this on... Hold on. Maybe I gotta do this from my studio? Community. Okay, here we go. We're clearing up. Okay, there we go. Oh my God, Tammy, are you guys back? I accidentally blocked you guys. I did not mean to. I was trying to block that other person that was coming in and spamming. And when they typed something, it moved. And when I clicked, it clicked on your guys' names and ended up blocking you instead. Did not mean to do that. Oh my God. Welcome to my stressful moments during a stream. Yay! But we fixed it, and that's what matters. Until I drop my phone. Oh, you know what? Like, this dude just, like, straight, no. 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 Just get out of here. You're the kind of person that caused me to accidentally block Tim and Tammy, and they're both great people. Oh, I hate that. I do not like when that kind of stuff happens. Oh, let me pop over to my channel and see if they are over there. There we go, popping into the channel. Oh, man. That was stressful. Yay, you're back! Oh my God. That was like, I screwed up. I messed up. And I'm willing to admit that. And I hope Tim comes back because, God, he was great. I was enjoying his Yay! Yes! Tammy, I'm so sorry. I accidentally screwed up trying to block that spammer that was in here spamming. And when they started typing messages, it moved you guys. Like your name's up that list. And I accidentally ended up clicking on you and blocking you guys. And I just like went into like a panic mode trying to get it fixed. So you both are unblocked on YouTube now, and you can be back in on YouTube, and you never was blocked on Facebook. But hey, Tim, you got me on Facebook now, so you know where I'm at. I was like, oh God, I hope Tim got the Facebook channel before. Oh. I did panic. I'm like, no! But I worked through it. I figured it out. You guys are good people. I like you. Breathing, it's essential. Here, after that, we will light a little Palo Santo and get a little chill going on. I love this Palo Santo. Such good Palo Santo. Has such a strong smell to it. Breathe this in. I love my Palo Santo. Light up Palo Santo, stick it over in front of the camera, and just let it slowly waft up. Ends up looking like you're doing a Cheech and Chong movie. Love the effects of the Palo Santo smoke going in front of the camera. This is what I do when I get bored on the weekend. Sitting in here playing with Palo Santo in front of the camera going, look at this. This is cool. Yes, Tim's back. Yay! He just got some in Tennessee. My friend Tiffany got that for me. She got it off of Amazon, but I want to say it's out of Ecuador is where that was harvested. Or no, Peru. That's actually from Peru. And the company that does it, I'd have to go look up the brand. I got their stuff out in the front room. But the company that does it really, really ethically. They harvest it really well, and they put out a good quality Palo Santo. Woohoo! No more boring weekends. Yes. No more boring weekends. Oh, nice. I love some good dragon's blood and some white sage. I need to restock all of that stuff right now. Like, I'm out of white sage. I'm out of most of my incense. I got some sandalwood left. Friend of mine sent me some of this mugwort incense, and oh, I love that. That was some good stuff. But I got some Palo Santo. I got like 2 or 3 Palo Santo sticks floating around the office alone. I have Palo Santo everywhere. Road trip to Tennessee to get dragon's blood and some dragon's blood incense and some white sage. Heck yeah, there we go. Road trip to Tennessee. It's not like I could drive, 20 minutes away and pick it up. The road trip to Tennessee sounds like a lot more fun. But yeah, I was talking a little bit earlier about some of the things that I wanted to end up doing with the show and stuff. Now that I'm back and I've got the office all set up and things are all squared away, I'm going to start doing daily lives. Whether, like I said, whether it's a longer live like this one is, I've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. And as long as people are on wanting to hang out, chit chat, talk, and communicate, I'll hang out for a while. Like I'll go like 2 hours on live sometime. But some days I think I might just do like 20 or 30 minutes, just get on in the morning, do a 20 or 30 minute ordeal, or maybe in the evenings, do 20, 30 minutes, something just quick, fun, let's hang out. I'm in southwestern Ohio. I am very close to Cincinnati and Dayton. I'm about 45 minutes east of both of those. Kind of in the middle, in between them, but east of each of them as well. So it's not super far. Like I'm like within an hour I can be in Dayton, Columbus, or Cincinnati. Like all of those airports are roughly the same distance. So Cincinnati Airport takes tremendously longer to get to because you have to go through downtown Cincinnati, or you have to go through Cincinnati, across the river, over the bridge, across the river, to Covington, where the airport actually is. Oh, dude, I bet you have been right through the area I live. I'll tell you where I'm at later when I'm not just going to throw it out, but I'm in Ohio. I throw that out, but I'm not going to throw my hometown out. I've had a few stalkers, believe it or not. One point in time, I had someone when I first started doing live streams. I started doing them on Twitch, and I was doing video game streams. Straight up, I had someone like message me and be like, "Oh, so how's such and such place?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "Oh yeah, it just opened up in the town where you lived like a week ago." And I'm like, okay, creep much? It's like they was asking me about some little ice cream stand that opened up in the town. I hadn't even been there. Didn't even know it had opened fully yet. Like they had out the opening soon signs, but like this person's like, "Oh yeah, it's open." Hey, I would start one. I mean, at the very least, it gives you an outlet to put your thoughts and you voice your beliefs and stuff and put them out there, and you've got them on video and you can share them with people. You can share them with others. I love having other guests come on and talk about their belief systems. with the podcast. I've got some people that have been asking me about doing the podcast. So I'm probably going to be starting things up as far as recording new episodes or doing live episodes of the podcast. I would say probably in the next couple weeks. I just really need to lay some groundwork this week. I'm working on trying to get a few things done. I've got to get a few bills paid and taken care of, and out of the way. So I'm just kind of focusing on that for a little bit. But yeah, man, I would focus. Like, YouTube channel doesn't really cost you anything, and especially if you already got the equipment. If you got a camera and a microphone, you're pretty much set. You can even do YouTube channels with your phone. I do almost majority of my stuff on the PC though. That's my realm. That's my domain. That's the area I work in. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Like if there's anything that you have questions about, or if there's like topics you'd like to see me have on the podcast, like things you'd like to see discussed, topics you'd like to hear us talk about. I'm going to see about maybe on Tuesday nights. I was doing a Tuesday night roundtable discussion where I'd open up to different guests of the show, previous guests of the show, some friends of the show and stuff to drop in. And we'd just have an open roundtable discussion on whatever topic, whatever subject. I'm thinking about bringing those back again and setting those up. Might do it on a different night than Tuesday. We might still do it on Tuesday. Who knows? I just got to talk to the people out there, see what night would work best for most people, and just get that back up and going again. And those are things that we like having, if we have a topic that we can bring up, like a lot of times what we do is we just let people bring up in that group, bring up the topics, or like if we got people in the chat with us, we see what they want to talk about. Oh, I love discussing the truths in spirituality and religion and diving into their histories and the roots and the origins of everything. And the funny thing is, you really dive into the roots and origins of a lot of stuff. You really, really see where everything really, really honestly ties in together. And it's not all that separate, not all that different. It is just people will take things throughout the years and start to twist them and manipulate them and corrupt them into being their own thing, their own ideas, and they can use them for power, manipulation, everything else. I mean, quite frankly, the only reason the Bible was translated into English by King James was to use it as a tool to control and manipulate the masses. It was not to bring spiritual enlightenment to the people of his country. It was to be used as a weapon and a tool against them. They weaponized the Bible when they brought it out that way. They took it and turned it into something that they used to control people and say, well, you've got to do this. And we're making laws saying this is how this has got to be, because if you don't listen to what's in this book, you're wrong. See the way I see it, Tim, like I discussed earlier, I'm an ominist. I see the truth. There's truth in almost all belief systems, and I'll say almost all because there's a few out there that some people are throwing out there that are batshit crazy, okay? Lack of a better words. If you can find some truth in there, dig, but it's a little too delusional in some of these. Yep. And then but the way I see it is almost all of these belief systems, like your core belief systems, your core religions and stuff, almost every single one has these truths that all point towards the same direction. They always point towards the same way. When you go start looking through all these different belief systems, and they have the same kind of tenets of, hey, treat people with love, treat people with respect, be kind, be nice, be generous, don't kill people, don't steal, stuff like that. Those are things that we should all be able to get behind. And most religions back that up. Oh, Oh yeah, like I saw someone the other day, and just simple. This was a simple one. Thou shalt not kill. This was a scholar talking about this and how that, like, some of the commandments and stuff are taken wrong because of the wording. The word is not kill; it is actually murder. The translation for the word was for the word murder, not for kill. That language, and I believe it was written in the Greek, was what that was written in, which, or Hebrew. Actually, that would have been written in Hebrew. And the translations for it was not kill. It was the translation for murder, because there's two separate words. There's one word for kill, which means to kill in defense, justified. This is something that's not wrong. And then they have another word for murder, which is, this means that this is evil. This is done. This is bad. And what the line in the Ten Commandments is, thou shalt not murder, not thou shalt not kill. Oh yeah, and there's books that, like the Apocrypha and the Pseudepigrapha, and then the Gnostic text, which the Gnostic text, like the Nag Hammadi, wasn't even found until 1945. And even then, when they did find it, the people that found it didn't know what they had. And the lady was actually burning pages of it in their stove to heat and, fuel the fires in their house to keep them warm and stuff. How much of the Gnostic text did we lose to that? I mean, there's probably copies of these things in the Library of Alexandria, but it's been destroyed, so we don't have those anymore. But I bet there's copies of the Nag Hammadi text in those archives under the Vatican. Yeah. But even we can't even get them we can't get a lot of people to accept the concept of not judge lest they be judged. So taking that to the level of condemnation is a whole different deal. Yes. Yeah, exactly. And the fact that it was chosen by a very patriarchal system that set it up, that demonized the female in these teachings, that demonized anything that didn't support the patriarchal idea of control and power and suppressing the feminine. Because at that point in time, like previous up until the point in time of when the Bible was canonized within the Catholic Church with the Council of Nicaea and everything that went down with all of that, previous to that, pretty much most of the religious leaders in the world, before you had the formation of the Catholic Church really starting to step up and come into power, almost all your religious leaders were women. Yeah, the term shaman, which a shaman, a lot of people associate shaman with men. The original shamans were females from Siberia. The term was used to denote the female healers and medicine folk of some of the Siberian tribes. But then it became a word that was used all throughout the scientific community to denote anyone that did that same work in any kind of tribal culture or community. I mean, when you look into the Norse, and the Nordic setting during like the Viking Age, the Aesir, or not the Aesir, the Estru and the Volva, who were the healers and the witches and the wise people. They were revered. The vulva, who was a woman who was like a witch, she was very powerful, had she knew how to heal, she knew how to do protection words, all kinds of things, blessings. They were revered and honored, even more so than the leaders of the clans and the tribes, even more so than the kings. They had power, and people respected their power. They respected their belief. They respected what that woman could do. And if anyone challenged her or anyone done anything negative to her, they were usually killed, because no, you don't do that. That's someone of a high level of power and respect, and you revere that person. They weren't to be messed with. They weren't to be trifled with. They weren't to be put down. They weren't to be looked down upon. They were honored. They were revered. They were looked up to. They were, they were the people that took care of their tribes and of the communities and stuff. Like a lot of times in a lot of those communities, the shaman didn't have to go out and gather their own food, because the shaman was busy out gathering plants to help heal everyone. The shaman was out busy doing ceremonies. The shaman was busy doing other things. Other people in the community provided everything the shaman needed because of what the shaman was providing to the community. So we'll see how my community responds when I step out. I'm thinking about renting a booth at this thing they're doing in June. I'm thinking about renting a booth and doing tarot and oracle readings and stuff there. It's only like $30. I need to get a little pop-up thing for it too. So like by the time I get everything I need, it'd be like $130, $200 to get involved to do it. But then I would have that stuff that I could have for whenever I go back out. The only thing that I'm really out's that $30 fee, but I have a feeling I'd make that back in that weekend easily. But the thing is, I live in a very conservative town. And I was talking to one of the ladies, and I was telling her that I was thinking about doing that at one of the events. And she's like, oh, people that run that won't approve you. They would not approve of that at all. So I'm going to see if they will. I'm going to apply for this as soon as I get the money to do so. And I'm going to, fill in, send everything in, the fees, everything. We're going to see how this town handles someone that wants to come out and step into that role in this community. Astrology and numerology are very little for me. I get into them a little bit, but I have some friends who are like really skilled in those things. And like just really talented. And those are their passions, their love, their drive. So whenever I have something along those lines that I really need to work with, I usually go to them. And it's great. Like when I go to one of my friends for like some astrology stuff, I have one in particular. Whenever I go to her for astrology stuff, she just lights up. She cannot wait to do astrology stuff. And she gets really excited when someone comes to her with that and stuff. And she knows that I could easily do it myself if I really wanted to. But she likes that I decide to come to her because, no, she does good work. Oh, and one thing I do want to throw out there, one thing you guys will never, ever, ever hear me say is, oh, don't work with other people. You only have to work with me. Ran into this the other day with something going on where a reader was telling people, oh, well, you only need to work with me. Working with other people just, it'll be too confusing for you. No, if someone's got problems with you working with other people, that's a red flag. Don't work with them. Like for me, I encourage people to go work with others, even other readers. And I will send people to readers that I work with, readers that I care for, readers that I know are legit. like straight up off the bat, Tiffany, my friend Tiffany, who runs Modern Mystic, I'll send people over to Tiffany all the time to work with her on different things. Tiffany's extremely skilled, extremely knowledgeable, has just a great base of information. Tiffany's actually offered to start training me in Reiki and sent me all the books and stuff to do so. I just got to start doing the work. Tammy, it really is important to compare. And I've told people before, I'm like, if you're working on something really, really serious, do you really just want to focus on the stuff that's coming from one person, or would you like to get another consultation from someone else? I look at it like getting a second opinion from a medical professional. Oh, yeah. And Tammy, I've had that same situation where, and I've told people this, you can have 5 readers pull cards for you on the same thing, and they'll give you 5 different readings, but those readings a lot of times are going to be very similar, and they're going to point in the same direction. And you can even have 5 readers read the same 5 cards, and they will show you a different perspective because they interpret those cards through the perspective and how they're trained and how they work. And they might see something in those cards that someone else doesn't. They might point something out, and it might be one simple word that they say different, but can change and add into and enhance all of that. Oh, I wholeheartedly agree on that. If you are working on something serious and you really are looking for guidance and seeking guidance, do so from more than one reader if you're going to a reader. Another thing I like to do is if I'm working with another reader and they're doing a pull for me, I'll end up doing a pull for myself on that same subject and see how my cards work in conjunction with their cards. You know, there's times what I do, I do it in order to like back up and see the things I'm doing. Like the other day, I had a friend who was looking for some information on something. They was just basically wanting some confirmation on stuff. And so I just done a reading for them real quick on some stuff. And they're like, you know, they was talking like how this other person that they had just worked with spent a bunch of money working with them on some stuff, and they had wanted a reading. And the person's like, oh, that'll be another $30 for that reading. After this person had just dropped well over $100 on this person that day. You know, if someone comes in and is doing business with me and they spend $100, you know, on doing stuff with my spiritual business, and then they say, hey, can I get a reading? You're getting a reading. You don't have to drop any more money. I'm not like, yes, I need money. I need to pay bills. I need to be able to take care of things I need to be able to get some new equipment. I need to be able to upgrade things. I need to be able to advance things. But money's not the reason I'm here for this. You'll have a question in mind and you'll ask for spirit for confirmation with a certain phrase or word without telling the reader. If it comes out, you received confirmation with a message. Did I do that tonight in mine? I'm kind of curious now. But I like that. That's a good way to work it. That's a good way to baseline things and be like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Let's see if they can trigger in on this. Awesome. I'm glad I was able to hit that for you and get what you need. And, you know, sometimes I tell people, you know, getting a reading isn't necessarily like it's going to give you profound information and be like, on next Tuesday, you need to buy a lottery ticket because you're going to hit it big if you do. Nice. But to me, a lot of times the readings are really, you know, sometimes readings can be really subtle, and they can be, they can hit really profound things, or they can hit things that aren't necessarily, you know, like earth-shaking, earth-rattling. You know, sometimes my readings are just like, literally, I will pull readings and then like the interpretation of the cards, like, and I'm just paraphrasing this, is more or less Stop being stupid, get up and actually do the work. Man, Tim, I am so glad you're here. I really am. I'm so glad that you were here. So glad that we were able to meet, have this time together, and to open up this avenue of a friendship and communication and everything else. Thank you. I like the name. And then this is the logo that I had designed, and one of my friends made this banner for me. My friend Suzanne made this banner for me. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I need to move it up though, because my head blocks it when I'm on screen. So I'm going to be doing some work. I'm going to be moving stuff around in here a little bit and making things a little different and stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of fakes and a lot of money seekers out there for sure. Like, I've ran into some of them, and you can just tell, and you can tell the ones who are trying to come up with what the person wants to hear and trying to make it what the person wants to hear. So the person will be like, oh, well, here, let me tip you more for that, I do have a big head. It would look really funny if I had a small head, considering I'm 6'7". If I had a tiny little head, it would look really weird. That's why people will be like, you have big hands and big feet. And I'm like, I know, because if they were small, I would fall over or not be able to grab a hold of things. I wear a size 15 shoe, and people are like, oh, you got big feet. And I'm like, if I didn't, I would fall over. I'd hit my head on stuff. Unless my head was tiny, and then it might miss stuff if I fall. That would be the advantage of having a tiny head if you're really tall, that if you fall over, maybe hopefully you won't hit your head on stuff. Or if you're really, really tall, that you won't hit your head on stuff that's above you. One of the things I have found out that I have got to be careful with being 6'7" is when you go into convenience stores and gas stations and grocery stores and stuff, and they have that arm that helps the door close slowly so it doesn't slam and stuff. If those get loose and they're not level and they tip down a little bit in the back where it hinges in that joint, if those tip down and I'm not paying attention, I have been in a store leaving where one of those was just low enough as I walked out the door, just caught me right on the top of the head, knocked me stupid. 5'5" is great height. But sometimes 6'7", I mean, I love it. I do. But sometimes I hit my head on stuff that I just don't even realize it's there. What was you paying attention to earlier? Oh, her name correction. All right, guys. I think I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to offer it out one more time before I go. Hey, if anybody wants a reading, a free card, I'll do a free card pool, or I'll do mini readings for $10, a full reading for $15. But if no one pops up here in the next couple of minutes looking for a reading, I think I'm going to call it when we hit the 145 marks, which is about 6 minutes away. And then, yeah, I will be back around tomorrow. I'm not sure what time I'm going to be on tomorrow. I'm not really sure what I got going on tomorrow. I know I need to make some calls, some business calls and stuff in the morning. Yeah, I'll be in the office for a while, so you can hit me up on Facebook and stuff. I'm just gonna jump off here. Like, I'm gonna go, take the dog out again because he's probably ready for it. I'm gonna stretch and see what I can get into. I'll throw some music on in the background. Usually, music I can't play on here because it will get flagged by, Facebook for copyright infringement and stuff. So I'll throw on some music and jam out and just hang in the office. So hit me up. Actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and. Yeah, hit me up on Facebook and drop me your contact information over on Facebook. That way it's not going out on a public forum because this can be seen by anyone. But over there on Facebook, feel free to hit me up on the Breaking Reality page and drop me a message. And then I'll drop you the info over to my personal page as well, so you can hit me up through that. Just totally dropped what I picked up. Sometimes I amaze myself. But okay, if no one else wants a reading, I think I'm gonna go ahead and hop off here. I'm gonna take the dog out. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna get something to drink, and I'm gonna settle back in here at the desk. So Tammy, I'll hit you up here in a little bit. I'll message you and stuff, and then Tim, by all means, man, feel free to send me that information over, and I will message you here in probably about 10-15 minutes. Sometimes the dog takes a while going out because he wants to smell every blade of grass, every leaf. So, but everyone, thank you for coming out tonight. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing your time. Thank you to everyone who came out and got a reading, paid and non-paid. I appreciate them both. I appreciate doing readings for everyone, whether it's a single card pool or more. So please show up out this week. I've got some stuff going on. I've got some big announcements I'm going to be making tomorrow on the Breaking Reality page. So pay attention to some of the stuff I'm going to talk about tomorrow on the Breaking Reality page. I've got some things I've got planned for this month and for, coming up, and things that I'm wanting to do, and some different giveaways and stuff that I'm going to be doing. So just come in, pop in, join in, say hey. And I will see you guys soon. Have a good night. Be blessed. And I will be back at some point in time tomorrow.